Hi, happy healthy day. It's Kimberly. Welcome to part 2, fat in equals fat out. And today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why it's important for us to eat fat. Contrary to what we have been taught, a lie to believe is that if we eat fat, we will get fat. Now that's true for saturated fats and some bad fats that we're going to talk about today. But by and large, the reason why we have the health problems that we do today is because we have been told to eat a low-fat diet, and that is just a big fat lie. So today we're going to talk about why it is a lie. Well, actually the opposite is true. What causes visceral fat or the unhealthy fat around our waist is actually sugar and processed foods. It is far less the fats that we eat unless we're eating a lot of things that are high in saturated fat. Now, actually, what is causing our insulin resistance, which by and large causes that visceral fat, again, is the sugar and processed foods. Now, when we eat fat, it actually helps us to flush other fat out. So fat is good. Why? Well, for a few reasons. It helps to stimulate our fat cells. It creates a two-way street that we call fat flux. And so what that means is when we eat fat, it actually grabs onto the fat in our body and it helps to pull that fat right back out. Okay, it quickly changes our metabolism. It reduces our belly fat and reduces the amount of health-related problems that we have. Now, you may be asking yourself, why can't I lose weight? And I know a lot of people ask me a lot of times, they come to me because they're trying to lose weight and they can't. And what we found out is that they have gone to a low-fat diet and or they're eating the wrong types of fats, right? So let's talk a little bit about insulin resistance. Now, if fat flux creates a two-way street, insulin resistance creates a one-way street. Insulin resistance is what we need to worry about for our health. That's what causes visceral fat. That's what causes type 2 diabetes and cancers and all those other things to happen to us, right? But fat flux creates that two-way street. So when we eat our sugar or processed food, it goes in and it has a really hard time going back out. But if we eat the right kind of foods or fats, we can actually flush that out. Now, all calories aren't created the same. Now, what does that mean? Let's talk a little bit about a study that was done by Dr. David Ludwig, where he added an additional, he added good fat into people's diets, and they actually burned an additional 300 calories per person per day in this study by just adding additional fat to their diet. That is absolutely amazing, right? That really makes you want to go eat some fat and not listen to the bullshit lies that we're told about how we shouldn't be eating fat, right? So let's talk about what eating fat actually helps to reduce. It helps to reduce our risk of dementia or cognitive related decline. Okay, because we need that fat to kind of juice things up in there, right? It helps to decrease type 2 diabetes and cancer. So that is definitely, there's some major reasons why we should be eating fat, right? Here's some statistics around the health relations. The right kinds of fat, if you eat them in your diet, has been proven to reduce a heart attack by 40%. Now let's contrast that to statins, which are the medications that doctors put us on to combat heart disease. 23% reduction in heart disease by taking a statin as opposed to 40% reduction by just eating the right kinds of fats. Now, it doesn't even mention that the side effects with the statins are muscle damage and dementia, because we need cholesterol and fat in order to stave off cognitive related decline. Also, people who take statins are 87% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes. So you can be helping yourself with your health conditions and stave off some of those health conditions, be healthier, and lose some weight by eating good fat. Okay, now let's talk about what some of the good fats are and why it's important to eat good fats as opposed to eating the bad fats. What's the difference? So let's talk about what to ditch, or what are the bad fats. Okay, bad fats are things like partially hydrogenated oils, vegetable oil, corn oil, margarine, canola oil. Now, why are those bad for us? First of all, some of those are some of the most highly GMO'd crops, genetically modified crops that there are, like corn. And so you're already getting something that has been genetically modified, and now they're going to produce it into some oil for you. The other thing is that heated oils, or oils processed, heated to process, creates oxidation, and that actually creates toxins in our oil. It causes something called aldehyde, which is a very deadly toxin. And so we don't want to be eating those types of oils that have been heat processed and cause that aldehyde that also has a risk for heart disease. Okay, so now what should we switch it to? Switch it to good fats. Okay, so preferably the fats that you're getting on this side are saturated fats. Only saturated fats that should be on this side are pasture-raised, grass-fed, organic. And the saturated fats in that grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic are really super, super high in antioxidants. Okay, so that's why it's important to get those. Here's some good things to switch out to. Coconut oil, butter. Yes, going back to butter. Ghee. So ghee is just clarified butter where the actual fat's taken out, so you can use it more often than you say you're going to use butter. Lard and extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil is one of my favorites. And you can also do hemp oil, which is a really good as well. Now, these have benefits because they also have side benefits, right? So instead of them having side effects from being oxidized and overheated and toxified, now these are usually cold press, filtered, raw, organic sources of fat that are much better for you. So in conclusion, what we learned today is that fat helps you lose weight. It reduces your risk of heart disease, dementia, age-related decline, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. And most importantly, if you want to reduce that visceral belly fat, then you need to be eating more of the fats on that good fat list that I just suggested. Okay, so thanks for your time today. Now go out and make good food choices and have a happy, healthy day.